Okay, I know that I'm like the last person on this train. I know that I'm the last person here, okay? I only just started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. My roommates and friends were watching it in the living room, and I just checked in for a couple episodes. And the only thing that I knew, or the only things I knew about It's Always Sunny, I knew that oh my god, how am I blanking his name? I know his name. Come on, the short fat guy, the Goblin Man. How am I? Everyone knows his name. Danny DeVito. Thank you. Yeah, just I knew Danny DeVito was in it, and I knew that the show was about like a group of friends who were all like terrible people, and they got into antics, and that it was like cartoon logic because like in like real life they would all be dead or arrested after any episode, you know. So it's like I don't know, like I guess in my mind I kind of filed it alongside like South Park as wildly funny, or not funny, but wildly popular shows that are comedy based that like I might not be into because I don't like South Park that much. But I watched a few episodes randomly, and I thought they were pretty good. Like structurally, I thought they were pretty good. One of the episodes that I watched was like the season, like in the 16th season. Um, I thought it would be trash, but it was actually well structured, you know, like it was interesting to watch, and funny. So I thought like, oh, okay. And we started watching it from the beginning because I haven't seen anything. And I think that It's Always Sunny might actually be one of the most progressive TV shows I've ever seen, like to an almost insane degree. It's actually kind of what I genuinely I think that like Steven Universe is standing on the shoulders of giants here. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. That's true, Vermin. Yeah. The trans stuff doesn't age that well. No, that's the thing. I actually kind of disagree because I've now watched the entirety of the first season, and every issue pertaining to like politics or minority representation has been at its core progressive in its messaging. Let me put it this way. Have you ever seen a conservative cite It's Always Sunny as an argument in favor of their reactionary politics? Have you ever seen somebody like Dennis post and be like, ah, this guy, you know, the way that they do with like American History X or any other show that's ostensibly meant to criticize the far right but actually doesn't? Because I haven't. I don't think I ever have, like, at all. And I know that, like, the real life talent behind, because Danny DeVito is very left leaning, as I understand it. So I know that the talent behind the show, at least, is progressive. But like, okay, wait, can you just listen to me ramble for a second? Because otherwise, like, it's just gonna be in my head. All right. Um, the premise of so the basic premise, if you don't know, and everyone knows but me, so I'm mostly just saying this in case there's some like Bangladeshi guy who's watching. I don't know. But basically, it's like a group of friends in Philadelphia, and they all buy a bar because they want to hang out together and get drunk. And they hang out during the daytime. During the nighttime, they run the bar. They're all like kind of like sociopathic losers. Like they're bad people, but they're bad people in a cartoony way. Like they're not malicious for the most part. When they are malicious, it's because they're up to hijinks most devious. They're largely inconsiderate, but they're not like structured evil. It's not like Kevin Spacey, like House of Cards or whatever. You know, it's yeah, they're all doing like cartoon shit 24/7, and you know it works. I think they hit the tone pretty well. But the show is really political in the sense that at least in the first season, every episode they do is deliberately like shock value. Like we're gonna sell alcohol to minors. We're going to like the gang gets racist is like the name of an episode. There's one where a trans woman is introduced. It's like it's yeah, the abortion episode. It's like everything is like deliberately provocative. But what's interesting is that the whenever okay, because the main characters aren't great people, they don't have like great opinions on these issues. You know what I mean? Like they don't stand up to the camera and go like, "Here's why I think racism is wrong." Actually, they're all pretty bigoted. You know, if not knowingly, then at least like really inconsiderate or ignorant on the issues. But the way the episode is structured always makes you sympathetic to the like the minority people or the minority issue like every single time. So I've seen two episodes that heavily involve no, three episodes that heavily involve the relationship between the gang, who are all white, and black people. And in all of them, the gang is terrible, like racist, inconsiderate, like they're not trying to be, they're just like bad people. But the tone of all these episodes is black people immediately understand what's going on here and kind of warily deal with or take advantage of the ignorant and stupid white boys who are like, tap dancing their way across the scene. So like when you watch, like the tone of the scene is you're supposed to sympathize with the black character when internally they're going like, ugh, like I don't know if I can like describe this that well without you actually watching it, but the way they structure these scenes are really good because it's like the slight tilt of a floor that's kind of offset. You know what I mean? Like it looks fine when you're just staring at it, but if you put a marble on it, it rolls to the side. The way the scenes are constructed, your empathy rolls towards whichever group of people the gang is being terrible towards. There's an episode where they fake being handicapped, and until like some of them encounter a real handicapped person and like immediately feel bad about what they're doing, and with no words at all, like the whole point is made immediately. I feel like one of the best examples is in like the third episode they meet a trans character, and the only thing they call this woman in that episode and forever onward is just the, is not exactly a progressive group of people, but it's very strange because the first season came out in like 2005, and the trans woman is the most normal, happy human in the entire show. I don't know, like everyone else is like this disgusting, grungy loser, and she's just this attractive, cool person with like no, like it's impossible to not sympathize with her because she does literally nothing wrong. She's just great, she's just great, and then like the contrast is you have the main characters who are all like these losers, moral abysses, and they're like casually calling her by a slur, and she's just in the background being hot and normal, and without any words, like the message is said. It's like the protagonists are being weird, she's fine, and they do this the entire show, which is pretty wild. I don't know, because I feel like that attitude towards trans people is still kind of radical today, in like the they're just normal, leave them alone kind of thing, where you're supposed to be like weird champing at the disgusting way that the main characters treat her and everyone else in a minority group. I don't know. I feel like that attitude is actually way more progressive than a lot of stuff that I see on ostensibly pro trans or pro anything media these days, because left-leaning people don't know how to not be preachy. And the thing that makes Sunny in Philadelphia really great is that it's never preachy because nobody says the point. The point is constructed when the way the scene is set up, the dialogue is written to make you sympathetic, not to tell you to be sympathetic. So you get the message and it sets across really well. We've all seen that the dentist thing, right? Like you've seen this argument on Twitter, right? I've used it in debates when talking to people trying to describe how like coercion works when it comes to rape, where Dennis, who's a terrible guy, is like, we'll take these ladies out in a boat and like we'll try to have sex with them, and like they'll say yes because of the implication. Yeah, the Dennis system or whatever. He's like a horrible misogynist, I've never seen a misogynistic person in real life cite Dennis as like a positive example of their belief system. I've never seen that. But I have seen people cite Dennis as an example of the faults in misogynistic logic. Because people use that, it's because of the implication episode as an argument in favor of understanding the whole like coercion, implicit consent thing. I don't know, man. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I know I'm the last one on this boat. Everyone else has seen It's Always Sunny. But what maybe like in now that I kind of know what the show is about, I feel like I'm really surprised that there's not more culture war discourse on it, because the show has been so clearly progressive for so long, but in a way that I feel like would have attracted a lot of negative or misunderstood attention. Maybe the people who watch It's Always Sunny are just smart enough to be in on it. That might actually be it, because I don't think people are watching It's Always Sunny and agreeing with the gang. The community around the show seems to be largely progressive, despite the fact that they just drop slurs constantly in the show. Yes, which makes me feel like, I don't know, maybe just everyone gets it, or maybe like subtly or implicitly they understand the direction the show has taken, and they just take it as it is, which would be pretty great, I think. You know what I mean? It might be the show just doesn't shove it down your throat in practice. Yeah, the funny thing is they're incredibly unsubtle too. It's not even a like remotely it's not even remotely subtle. the progressive you know, themes and stories and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. Yeah, I've got plenty more to watch. There's no confusion. You're not supposed to agree with the gang. Okay, but the critical distinction here is that the main, you know, Cartman in South Park is cartoonishly evil, and yet people agree with the arguments that he makes all the time. And I think this is maybe a you know, a difference in like good versus bad satire, because bad people like Cartman for saying bad things, even when Cartman in the context of the episode is made to be wrong and an idiot. So there's something about Cartman where you can have an obviously bad, incorrect person make bad points and then get celebrated for it. But that doesn't seem to happen with the gang. I don't know if it's because South Park is generally more juvenile, which if it is, it's not by much, because It's Always Sunny is also incredibly juvenile. So I don't know what exactly separates that. Cartman talks to the camera a lot. Yeah, I don't know. It might be because Cartman makes an effort to make like actual arguments in favor of the bad things, whereas the It's Always Sunny cast just tends to do them. It might also be because the It's Always Sunny cast always seem to do the bad things they do accidentally or without fully understanding it, whereas Cartman tends to revel in being a bad person, and that might convince like edgy 13-year-olds watching the show when their parents are asleep that like there's some kind of innate value or something alpha about being proudly bad, whereas the gang and It's Always Sunny are retarded. They're like very, very stupid. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's very good. Very good. Yeah, I'll continue to talk about the show as I watch more of it. Again, I know that I'm like, guys, have you, you know, have you seen The Matrix? It's really good. Like, I know I'm behind on this. Just very impressive. I think it's indeed that Cartman is competent and understands his evil. Yeah, it might just be because they think it's like Sigma that he takes ownership of his malicious hate or whatever, as opposed to the gang. Yeah. Got to watch The Wire next. Yeah. Guys, did you know The Wire is really progressive? No, I know The Wire is progressive. I didn't know It's Always Sunny is progressive. You know, I didn't that yeah. Have you seen Breaking Bad? It's really progressive. It is actually, but a lot of people that's just sails over their head. Have you seen Fight Club? It's really progressive. Name a piece of media with a conservative message that isn't a pile of crap. You can't. Conservative messaging is innately crap. No, I've not seen Married with Children. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe It's Always Sunny is just like the perfect example that I've always looked for of not shoving it down your throat, right? Like if It's Always Sunny can be progressive with a largely progressive fan base that's exclusively cited in favor of progressive arguments while being so edgy that it literally refers to its like only trans character as a slur, as primary as her name. They don't say her name. They just say the T slur. You know, if that show can be progressive, and it is, I feel like anything can be progressive if you know how to sell it. I don't know. It's just nice to see an affirmation of the things that I believe, that it's possible to project a leftist or progressive aesthetic without adhering to, or sorry, leftist or progressive messaging without adhering to a progressive or leftist aesthetic, because that's really important for reaching people. You know, well, I'll just say this way: nobody on the right was convinced into thinking positively of trans people because of Steven Universe, because Steven Universe is so sickly sweet in its progressive aesthetic that like unless you're either 12 years old or insanely far left, like the way the show is constructed is going to make you like immune to its political messaging. Steven Universe botched its messaging on forgiveness. No, I'm not just talking about that. I'm just saying, like, if you Google Steven Universe and then look at anything about it, you just look at it and it's like, oh, Tumblr. like it just, that's the first thing you see. It's like so much. This is what I mean, right? Like, I wish there was more progressive stuff that didn't feel like it had to like embrace and adopt this like hyper ultra obviously like ooh woo soft sickly sweet queer aesthetic Tumblrite progressivism. And I like Steven Universe, by the way. I'm not even a hater. A lot of people overly hate Steven Universe because it did so many good things, and then like they bitch about the ending, or they saw that terrible video from that one bitch. You know, it's really a good show. Genuinely, it is. You know, there needs to be progressive messaging like everywhere. It's not just in stuff that's obviously designed for homosexuals. You mean Lily Orchard? Lily Orchard, yeah, I forgot her name.